it's World Environment Day today, an opportunity for us to repeat our pledge to get serious about the environment around us. Alas, that remains a dream in our country. India is among the most polluted countries in the world. Earlier this year, the government announced the constitution of the Steering Committee on the implementation of the National Clean Air Programme. One of the experts named by the government to deal with the crisis is Professor S Tripathi, an expert member. Earlier today, I spoke to him about what really realistically can be done. Beijing does so much, why can't New Delhi? China does so much, is India anywhere in the same league? My question to you now, according to several studies, one of them is the Lancet study, 2 people die of pollution-related deaths in India every minute. Air pollution is the 3rd biggest killer in our country. Does this government, or for that matter, any government, have the will or even the administrative power to change any of this within a finite period of time?
I think let us put it this way, that there are ways you have to put in. You have to start putting the monitoring and all those mechanisms in the place, and that is slowly happening under the NCAP. So I believe it will take time, but it's going to happen.
Dr. Tripathi, you're talking about monitors to take a look at air pollution. What you are referring to, I'm sure, are continuous air monitors, the more sophisticated ones that the government has started distributing. Now, according to the numbers we have, Delhi has 38 of those machines.
Right.
Between Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, there are a total of 54. So, why can't we at least get air pollution monitors across most of the country?
See, there was no concerted effort earlier. Now NCAP is in the place, and now there is certainly fund transfer going to happen from the federal ministry to the government, state governments, and state governments need to contribute in equal measures. So the responsibility lies not only with the federal government, it lies with the state government at the city level. Everyone must come forward and start putting monitors. So that is the way it will happen.
So that's an interesting point, Dr. Tripathi. What you're essentially saying is that there needs to be money and monetary contributions from state governments to provide even an air pollution monitor. Are we really in that desperate a situation where the centre doesn't just buy these monitors and install them? They're at most a few lakh rupees each.
Well, that one AQMS costs about 1.4 crore to buy and maintain it for 4 years. That is what is the requirement from CPCB. So you can just understand that if you want to put about 10 monitors, it's going to cost you about 15 to 20 crore.
Over an extended period of time to monitor it and maintain it.
And that is just one part of the entire story.
What is the other part of the story which is the concern?
So definitely NCAP is what. Well, there are other part of the story that you need. The monitors are only going to give you what is there in the atmosphere. You need to understand the sources.
Yes.
Now, very few cities have sources identified yet. Now, unless you understand the sources very well, you cannot go and plug them. So that is the second part of it. And there are 100 non-attainable cities in the first phase. So you can just understand that spread around 20 states. So the responsibility lies with all the stakeholders and mainly all the governments at different levels.
So the target is a 30% reduction within 3 to 5 years in PM 2.5 levels. That's what has been announced in the past as a target. Do you believe this is an impossible dream in a situation where, for the reasons that you mentioned, we can't even have enough monitors in place?
See, it is not the matter of, it's not the constant from money, it is that how quickly you can get things rolling on the ground.
Yes.
And then how you act upon the information what you gather. So that is the way other countries have done it. There are very clear examples that if you have a focus program and you can push the things out, you can achieve that. It is very much an achievable target, provided that states join hands together and they work with the federal government. And you have to work in a very timely fashion, and you can achieve it.
Dr. Tripathi, acting is one thing, but what about enforcing laws? Diesel vehicles over 10 years old are not meant to be running. How is it that so many diesel vehicles above this age continue to run even in the national capital? Why are these not being taken off the roads?
See, I mean, one thing is that what government, I'm part of a committee where we are trying to basically retrofit diesel particulate filters in these vehicles. Now getting the vehicles out is not only a responsibility of the pollution control boards or committee. You see that it also becomes a law and order problem.
Yes.
That the civic and the police administration has to come, and that is where probably we need to make it a kind of a program that administration works shoulder to shoulder with the pollution boards, and that is what we need to impress upon.
So, Dr. Tripathi,
that is what has been lacking, because you are talking about enforcement. The laws are there. Laws need to be enforced.
Would you, Dr. Tripathi, say that the reason Beijing is winning its battle against air pollution and we are in Delhi losing our battle at so many levels is because of enforcement? Because over there they've got a system of regulations where they've cut down on industries, they've made lots of other regulations on days when pollution crosses a certain mark. They stop vehicular movement, which is non-essential. That they can implement those laws, we can't.
Yeah, partly it is true. But Vishnu, as you know that we have two very different political systems. People tell me that in China the industries can be moved overnight, and then the spewing industries, their owners can be put behind bars, and they tell it. I have heard in public forum that last month how many industrialists were put behind bars. Can you imagine such things here? So things happen here with consensus. What we need to do is to create a mechanism where one arrives at a consensus in a much efficient way in a shorter time. It should not just take forever to arrive at a consensus.
And sir,
that is where, as I say, that state and city governance have to play a major role.
So we've heard, with all due respect, all of this so many times in the past. The center and the state must work together. Cost sharing must take place. We need to ensure that the laws which already exist are enforced. Unfortunately, sir, nothing has fundamentally changed to actually, in fact, the numbers seem to indicate things are getting worse. So my question to you is this, sir. What is your roadmap? What is the roadmap of the National Clean Air Program within a finite period of time? Let's say 5 years, what can we realistically achieve?
See, if you can have a first infrastructure. See, as you mentioned in the beginning of this interview, that we do not have enough monitoring system. We do not have enough information about the sources. If we can have sufficient infrastructure rolled out in first couple of years, I think we can build upon that information generated and we can move from there. And that is what I see will happen very fast, because one very encouraging thing which has happened, that in order to do the capacity buildings of state boards, 16 IITs have come forward. Locally, every state will have an IIT as a nodal academic institution which will be working with the state board. Now this kind of a network is going to work together. These are very positive steps, and only thing that we need to push it forward, and we need to push it forward very vigorously.
What else?
That is the only way
in a finite period of time, we will have these monitors. Point taken. Give me two other points which we can expect in the next 5 years to improve, say, air pollution in the country. Tangible points, sir.
I think for example, if you see that there is a very clear measurable effect of Ujjwala scheme. Now there are documents which are showing data which is showing that the regions where Ujjwala has percolated well, that particulate indoor pollution and outdoor has gone down.
Okay.
And then there are other indices. Now we need to move quickly to the clean sources like that. And this is one of the success stories. Likewise, I think we need to identify those dirty sources and immediately get rid of them. For example, I see that power sector can be a sector which requires a huge reform, and I think there we can work, we can act very quickly. Likewise, when I say that sources need to be identified, we still do not have enough information about the contribution from industrial sources. This can give very tangible information that how industries can transition to the cleaner processes. That is what is lacking as of now, as our data shows. So these are two or three, these steps can make a big difference in the organized sector.